get there. And it is a good day to be. It's a good day to have permission. Facebook says you have to have permission to get onto here. And I'm thinking, what? Oh, gracious sakes. Okay, let's try this again. Got to get permission to get on my own page. That's your first sign. What happens when you begin to learn with synchronicities? Tell me, Amy, is it working? Please say yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Synchronicities. Very, very important. We're going to wait a few minutes for everybody to appear. Synchronicities is that communication process that you end up having with the universe, with spirit, with angels, with guides. And sometimes we are not sure if it's evil or if it's good or if it's bad or where is the source coming from. Well, I'm going to tell you that your mindset will be the one that will determine what you see. That's right, folks. You heard me. What do I mean by that? Simply put, if you are asleep and you wake up and you start with synchronicities, but you don't process out your hells or the fears in your caudate nucleus and start retaining joy, then your signs are going to be all over the place. What do you think about that, Amy?
Yeah, it's very daunting when you see them everywhere.
Okay, what do you mean by that, Amy?
Oh, well, yeah. Lately, I've been seeing 333, 444, 555, 1111, 1212. It's like, okay.
The physical itself, then it can be a little bit of an issue because you haven't got a file system yet. You need a file system inside your brain. That means you have to have new knowledge. You can't have borrowed knowledge. Borrowed knowledge is, oh, I watched a movie. I heard my friends. I was taught it in school, taught it with religion. This is the way my family thinks. It's my foundation, my first chakra, and all of my fears about being independent. We're learning how to evolve out of our chakras, the first, second, and third one. But you can't do that if you're not awake. And then when you're awake, there are stages of being awake. So it's not about, I'm better than you. And we're not, because it goes into, you have to be okay with how you're awakening. But you got to first understand you cannot hear with your heart and your gut and find that fine intuition that you have. I'm writing my book right now, and it's all about life, but the first few steps of it is about knowing. There are so many different layers of knowing. You need to build up that intrinsic muscle inside of you, but you can't do it on borrowed past. You can't do it on borrowed stories, our pictures, our thoughts. Guess she's got it back. But when building a glossary for becoming a spiritual human, why do you listen to my shows every day? That's up to you. But why do I do this? Because I know how to get out of that matrix. I know how to get out of that hell between, is it either or? Is it separation? Is it are learning how to use synchronicities? Do you know how to actually begin that rapport? The rapport is very good. Pay it. And the more fear that you have, the more that thing will just sit there and have a pulse. And you just have a little sliver of joy. But if you learn to use tools and you learn to heal your shit and you learn to discover the difference between the mindsets, and you literally use the tools that help you develop getting out of hell and develop the ego mindset and the spiritual mindset to the point where you see a difference and you can make a choice. And your ego doesn't have to sit there and think, oh my God, I gotta die. I have to give up drinking, or I have to give up smoking, or I have to give up all these things that where to begin. I began like everybody else, but as I started to get out of it, I went through the dark night of the soul on several occasions. That's when you start to wake up and you fight between, I don't want to let go of my shit that I identify with in my world, because that means I'm going to have to die. Now, this is your ego struggling with you. And then you have the spiritual side of you that says you can live forever. And the thing is mortality is not the physical thing. But the point is that you become who you truly are, which is spirit first. Okay. As you become spirit first, I can't even get onto my post today. You become more your authentic self. When you become your authentic self, you have to remember you can be happier. It is a choice. It boils down to you making a choice, but you first got to get past that caudate nucleus. And you can't get past that caudate nucleus beyond that. But how do you get beyond that? And I will tell you, the only thing you can do is you have to evolve, but you can do it the old hard way. By bitch slap after bitch slap to suddenly thrown awake. And now you have to scramble and try to figure out how to get going with yourself and how do you do things? How do you function? All right, camera, work. Or you can start using tools. And I'm not joking about the tools. I don't care if they make it look stupid. That's your own thinking. That's the meaning you put with it. That's what we were taught throughout life. It's like, oh my God, we can't let anybody see me doing that. That's embarrassing. Oh my God, they're going to think I'm an idiot. And that is all that self-talk of control of what we do to ourselves, to torture ourselves in such a way to stay in. Ready? Stay in the cookie cutter of life. Stay in as a sheep asleep. Staying as is that if I break the norm, wait, what is the norm? The norm is a moving target. It is you that gets to learn how to create something different. It is you that gets to go beyond your pictures of your hells, the PSTDs, the traumas, the dramas. You get to choose. Yes, that shit happened to you. Yes, that shit's real, but it doesn't have to own you. I went through an extreme process many years, many times, that I have learned that the more you get into your spiritual mindset, it has nothing to do with having to live in the dark night of the soul forever. No, you actually get to get out of that. It is a process, and I asked Spirit when I began this journey, please let me remember, let me file it away, let me be able to help people. I would like to be one of how many? 1 million? I don't know. Let me help. God, when I came down here, it was all about serving God, and not the God that's written in your Bible. It is the God, the creator of all things. My energies would be all messed up in my aura. I would be clarity would be off. My paranoia, because my governing meridian would go down. My central meridian of vulnerability would kick in. And then I would be gathering proof after proof of, oh my God, because my caudate nucleus says, burr, burr, burr. It was insanity. It was controlled me. It had every right to, because I had no idea that I needed education to be able to. And the more I brought education in from source, the more I brought education in it, the more it was metaphysical meaning, the esoteric knowledge, the shit that we were told that was bad, wrong, and evil, and get it out. No, I'm done being controlled. I'm connecting to that source. And as I began to go through that fearful stage of the devil's going to get me and the devil's going to control me and the devil. No, let's transform those thoughts out. Let's get rid of all that fear and let's stop conjuring up thought forms to become so real that you cannot deny it. It takes me back to that story in the Red Lion where all of a sudden the statue comes to life only because the master sat there and gave it power, giving its power so much away that it forgot that it gave it and brought it to life. And that thing started to take over and control and condemn life that can never die. But this statue started to take its life. It had him convinced and believed that it could. And one day, as he's about ready to take his last breath, he thought, holy crap, I'm the one that made it alive. So he started taking his power back from that statue. And every time he took his power back from that statue, guess what happened? The statue stopped owning him. The statue became less and less, to the point the master took his power back and no longer was going to die because he didn't need to, because he stopped believing. He stopped making the decision that it had that much power over him and that his Frankenstein came to life. Education is the first thing y'all need. Education is the very first thing y'all need. And that's why I sit here every Monday and every Tuesday and Thursday and sit there and give you the knowledge that I've been through. I have gone through a lot. Oh, I teach you. And when you begin to go through the dark night of the soul and it begins to own you, holy mother of God, bitch slap after bitch slap, or scariness, or you just can't seem to shake it, and the insanity feels like it's going to own you, or it already has. What are you supposed to do? When you start reading signs, I remember synchronicity followed me everywhere, and it felt good that I was connecting. But I did not know my authentic self. I was the happiest lark in town, right? But I had all of these other things happening. Yeah, wasn't happy with my husband. I wasn't happy with life. I had to take care of this. I had to take care of that. Responsibility here, responsibility there. Oh my God, the monotony of having to clean the house, pick up after everybody. Blah. My life was great, but how many butts do you have in your life? That's right. A butt is a belief under transition. How many beliefs do you have that are under transition that never make it to fruition? You need to learn. You need to build a new file system. You need to give that brain more shit to predict instead of predicting hell. You need to be able to give it something so that when it goes in going, it doesn't have to go to the caudate nucleus. It can go and go, oh, experiences. Oh, look at the wisdom. Oh. And the more you use tools, the more you can get your power back off all of those Frankensteins that you've created. All those little monsters that you created, all those little monsters that are so real, you know that it controls you, it owns you, it created its own voice. But there is hope. There is that crack of little light that comes through. Now, when you start looking at synchronicities and you're still in ego, you are just beginning to awake. And if you don't use tool, you're going to have one interesting ride. It is always fighting whether I am looking at evil or is evil looking at me. What am I doing? What am I doing? And then if you hone in on your synchronicity skills and ability, which I use today, but I'm good at looking how spirit hands you, like, here's a clue, and it sticks like a sore thumb. Here's a clue. Nobody else sees it but you, and you can start, and you can, when you bump into your, yes, my students are going to know what I'm going to say, arrested development. Oh, good God, what is an arrested development? Now, ain't one thing. It is your glass ceiling. You have to break through that. And if you have no idea, you're like, this is what says I'm not good enough. This is what I don't have enough knowledge. I am dumb. I'm stupid. It is, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Or it's like when I'm in an argument, but all that happened is that one experience can cause you to not be able to develop beyond that point. And usually that created your safety, security, and stability. It defined what had happened, even if it's not even real. And it has done its best to take care of the crazy thinking that drives that child crazy. And to the point that when those emotions kick in, you can't stop those thinking and you just want it to stop. Sometimes get to the point where we throw tantrums when we were little, or we go out and we hit back, or we don't know what to do with those emotions. We have nightmares. It is the moments that change your child's life. It is a moment that it doesn't have to be that scary. Shit. That's what emotions do. They literally defecate everything out of them. So an emotion will have to leave toxins behind. Have to leave traces behind. And if that toxins are in your body, you're going to create a certain amount of thoughts that are unnecessary. And it will perpetuate and it will grow and it will stay there. And if you feed it the same emotion, or you grab another emotion to put with it to try to counteract that one and be like, why did the old lady swallow the fly? I don't know. Maybe perhaps she'll die. I don't know why the old lady swallowed the fly. And it keeps going on about what she needs to keep swallowing to chase the first thing, to kill the first thing. And then eventually not want to live in your hells. You are here so that you can transform out of that daily effing thinking. It's stinking thinking to the max, that if you let yourself follow it, try to figure and rational it out, because I got to get sanity back, you are just going to drive yourself into high beta, break yourself down in an emotional heap of, pile of goo from crying, and you just can't do it, and you got to give up. And then that's where depression, anxiety, and all of this just keeps on. It owns you. And I want to teach you that you do not have to be owned. You can be done being owned. You can be done. And it is not easy when it is something that is a chronic and when I see people extreme issue, it can form with the PSTD. It can form. Those triggers, when they kick in, guess what? They will own you. But all your soul's doing is, can you heal it now? You couldn't then. Could you heal it now? Could you, you couldn't do it then. And your subconscious mind says, oh, it's 2:00. This is when it happened. Well, okay, hold on. We got to look for red. Ah, there we go. Nothing is against you. You just don't know how to take ownership of your own hologram, of your own meat suit. You beamed your ass in here and you let the thoughts tell you how you're supposed to live your life. Then you let the emotions tell the thoughts how to think. And then that tells you how to live your life. But have you taken any ownership? I mean, you may start projecting it onto others. Not just so you can see it, but you're literally begins to hurt. And you're like, it hurts so much. I got to figure out what to do with this pain pocket. Oh, you're my target. And it may not be something that you meant. But guess what? Energy follows, man. And when you don't know how to control it, it will be directed. And then whoever's in the line of fire is going to get it. Even if it's flippant fucking talking. How many times have you looked in the mirror and you don't see this beautiful woman in front of you anymore, or beautiful, handsome man in front of you anymore? But all you can see are, oh, look, there's a flaw. You don't see you only see your flaws, because guess what? You gave your power away, that you gave that statue to come to life, just like I just said in the story of the Red Lion. There's only a small part in that book, but let me tell you, it spoke volumes. When you can look at yourself and realize that you can put yourself together in such a beautiful way. Not that it has to be perfection. Spiritual human. And the only way you can ever begin to see that is you need to give yourself a new set of education. You need to give yourself a new set of tools. Put them in the toolbox and use them. And know when you're going off half-cocked. Knowing when an active memory becomes so active that it controls you and owns you. You need to know when that mirror is in charge over you. You're not looking at the mirror. The mirror is looking at you. And you need to know the difference. And you need to not be on your deathbed, having your last breath, thinking that statue can control you, because you need to turn that off. Change it out. You are a sensory being, and you, my spiritual human, it is time for you to stop being owned by so much pain. Why do you need to go to the psychic? And so would they, your loved ones. It's going to help you evolve. That's going to give you the empowerment to evolve. And the only way to do that is give you enlightenment, not from a bitch slap, but from knowledge, from understanding. Why did your soul put you through that? That evil soul? Bullshit. That's a BS. That's bullshit, because your soul is a loving soul. Your soul has to know the unknown. You are finding out what love isn't, and now you're returning to love. You are in a state of evolving your hells out. You are ready. This is, or resolve them out. When you begin to see them, don't say, oh, same shit, different day. Damn, I'm a program. All right, I need to wake my ass up and get out of this program. I need some education. I need to be able to move forward. You all deserve to look at the beauty and the love that you already are. I feel like a preacher on a stage. Now, guess what? Yes, I am a metaphysical minister, but that's not what I came here to do. I don't tell people that, and I don't lead with that, because that's not what we're doing. I want you to get your, what is it, get out of jail free card. We need to get you out of that matrix. We need to get you to remember that you're a spiritual being, having a human experience with everybody else, but you can wake up and you can become in charge of this hologram again. You can become in charge. Not in your spiritual mindset, you don't. It becomes a natural process to already watch things unfold. And when you begin to look at your synchronicities, you'll be doing it with a new mindset that everything will have a whole different meaning. And I teach you how to look at that. Now, again, I'm not going to start preaching about that, because I could. Because when I started to have all of my epiphanies and wakening up from what it said in the Bible to it was a transformation. And you know what? I didn't die. I stopped existing and living. I started to thrive. I started to thrive with spirit. I started to thrive on the mental, emotional, and spiritual level. And now I'm working really good at the physical. There is so much to learn. It is amazing. So the next time you're in your hells, don't reach for a coping tool. You're just going to repeat. Just don't sit there and have to be stuck in doing it the old way. I give you free healing tools. I don't cost that much to come and have an appointment with me either. It's time to put your oxygen mask on. It's time for you to make an appointment. It's time for you to take yourself seriously in your head and understand you value yourself. You are so worth it. You're such a beautiful soul. See what you believe in. And I want so much for you to connect with how you know your life and how you can use tools to get yourself out of it. And I can't express enough with those emotions. You clung to it, okay? So you have all of a sudden, there are moments, screenshots, moments, and then what happens? Depending on which frame you're at, you're going to repeat it in your head, repeat it in your head, repeat it in your head. And what will happen is this emotion, it'd be like, here's your molecules just waiting to be told in direction of what to do and how to be and how to look and how to act and all this over you. And guess what? Anger is now driving you. It is your ambition and you don't even know it. A sneaky one, that one just comes to bite you in the ass. But how many times have you walked in your house and you're happy, and all of a sudden your partner puts you in the mood? How many times you sit in the kitchen going, grumble, get the fuck away from me, I don't love you. Do you know that's your Frankenstein? Do you know you keep giving and feeding it? It's like, come here, little monster. Let me give you more food so that you can get bigger than me. And then, you dickweed, get fucking out of here. I mean, it's amazing how much you became a Tourette's person. And in your mind, you go, don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. Don't even look at me. Do not. Oh, God. And then the next minute, why doesn't he love me? I don't get that. He never shows me any affection. How many different little monsters do you got running around asking to be fed? Each one of those little monsters, no matter if you're silent, brooding in your head, no matter if you are just sitting there and you're watching a movie, but half of the movie disappeared because you were thinking. Do you know what they all do to you? The 41 thoughts per minute, 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day that you have the same, 90% of it was the same as the day before, and the day before, oh, you're just a program. Guess what they're saying? Look up my, I need attention. I need to be loved. I have pain. I have suffering. Look at my. And what do? Oh, jeez. We don't realize that we're this program. 10, 20 minutes later. Half hour. A week, a month, a year. We got a new temperament. We're a bitch. We're fine with it. You know what? You created me this. Ooh, we're in the effect side of the equation. Do you really want to live like you have to be controlled? It's time to take charge of those. Okay, so hopefully y'all know what to do. You see this email? If you are serious.
Yep, they do know what to do, Brenda.
Good. But hey, why not take it further? Let's get the right Zoom room for once. Is it the 862? I think so. Guess where you can come into the room. What in the hell does that mean? Well, guess what? Get ready, Amy. Is that how you want to be presented? There you go. Because what you're going to look like is you're going to come into the room just like this. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Brenda.
And guess what you can do? You into the healing room and you really focus with me. You won't realize that you're vulnerable. And you won't let the pain come at you. Let's go a little bit further. I want to know the truth. Give me information, Brenda, so that I can heal this, and give me a tool because I'm so done with it. It'll be just me and you. We don't have to worry about any other things that the ego says. And guess what even happens further? People out there are going, oh my God, that's me. I know that one. Oh yeah, I totally agree with that story. But she is radiating hope. I don't care if it's a he or a she, but the point is whoever's up there can start radiating hope. It gives those people out there a chance to do what? To feel like I get a chance that I can be free from this hell. I can actually grow. Yes. Thank you very much, Amy, for joining us. Now, we're going to get into the free emails. Again, if you come on here and you decide you want to pay $11, sometimes you get more than 6 minutes. Depends on how generous I am. Well, it's not about me. It's about spirit. Spirit says, oh, shit, we're not done. Make them do this. Have them do that if they're ready. And Amy, when the cat does that, what emotional shit are you thinking about? What were you just thinking?
Play with me is what she's doing.
No, that's what she says. And that is being my helper for today's show. And what you're going to do is you're going to give me the first email.
First email is from Sonia.
Sonia!
She has been extremely depressed and anxious.
So life. She's everything I just said this morning happened. Okay, so her program has affected her. So it's what you learn to do towards yourself. This is not something that, it'll usually take more than 1 minute. So one of the things that she needs to do is understand that towards herself is when she does this. I don't feel loved. I don't feel this. And she does that because she's been treated like an it. And because of that, she has to keep taking the abuse so that she doesn't get treated like an it. And as long as she's not treated like an it, guess what happens? She'll feel loved. But this is just her little girl program. I just saw something come through of somebody paid. Somebody wanted a healing. And who might this be? Sue. Excelente. Excelente. So, you take and you allow. You're Sue. Oops. We're going to get back to hold on. It is the hubby. Now, Sue, in person, because it's the hubby, in person, or do you want it just like this? You give me the details so we can get this set up. Marie, one of the things, again, you hold L1D while you're sitting here. It feels like severed love. That's why you can't love yourself. It's severed love. You know what it feels like. You know what it feels like because somebody severed their love. And because you severed their love, you severed your love towards yourself. And you can feel that. L1D. L1D, Marie. L1D. And while we're waiting for Sue to tell me what she wants to do next, Miss Amy, what is the second one?
Asha, she wants to hear from the past loved one.
All right, say that name again.
Asha.
Asha. Okay, Asha. Talk about. Since we only have a minute, we usually try to go through this real quick. There is about 8 people here. You have one that says, I just passed recently, and there is a broadcast message. This person, I feel a lot of male energy, so I'm just going to start saying it's a male, but the energy is to you. So again, to you is male energy, which is an aggression, assertiveness. That's what yang energy is. But is it from a male from the other side? Well, it's all from all 8. They're trying to really push through a message, and the main message that they've been wanting to talk about is they want you to start grounding yourself. They want you to start grounding yourself. Why do you want her to start grounding? Because they said that she goes into panic too much. And what happens is that it doesn't allow you to do what you need to do, because what happens is that you too also know what it feels like to become an it. Let me explain what an it is. Have you ever been dismissed? Have you ever been treated like an object? Have you ever felt like nobody's given a shit? It's all about them. It's all about somebody else. You feel like an object. And when you begin to feel like an it to somebody, you reach out. It's not that you need validation and acceptance and praise. In a way, we need those. But sometimes we get it for the wrong people. And those people that we hook up with are going up, and you'll stay there. And when you heal that out, you'll start to get realigned. Trust me, I've been there, and I am so much happier because I have chosen to heal that shit out and stop believing it anymore. And what did Sue end up agreeing to? What did she want? Sue. Okay, we're ready. Dun, 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 dun. We need to get the right screen. And hello, Sue. We got to get visual and auto. So while we're waiting, I've got the 6 minutes up, and we will wait. We'll see what's happening. So Amy, give me another while we wait.
Marianne Coughlin would like to know what's coming her way health-wise.
Health or health?
Health.
Okay. Health-wise. Okay. I understand that question, but sometimes you may need to give a little bit more. Here's the one thing. When it comes to health, and this is what's coming, I'm going to settle for the signs that says it's got to be this, this, or this. What does it all mean? It means this. You have to give up something from your ego world. And because if it's as simple as quit smoking, because it affects your health. You're going to want to do that because there are so many reasons why. Cigarettes is not the problem. The problem is something else. That is the solution to what you couldn't handle and cope with. But that is what we're doing. Okay? Let's go a little bit further. It has to do what you're doing toward yourself. It is what you've learned. It's what you know. Oh, there she is. Okay. So 1 second, Sue. I'll be right with you. So just 1 minute. Okay.
Want to come?
All right. So I will be just with you in just 1 second. So again, when you want health, you have it. You just have to aim for it. What stops you from having it in this case is you can feel the invading energies of being rejected. And it started when you were 4. The biggest reason what you can't let go of is a belief into it is what happened when you're 18. And toward yourself, it must have been something I've done. You need to tap that out. Use a healing tool in one way or the other. Okay, so when you are ready, sir, you tell me when you're sitting down, find a place for you to sit. Okay, so just any second now, when you're ready, give me the thumbs up and we will go to a different screen. Awesome. Okay, so welcome very much to have you here. And my name is Brenda, and your name is?
My name is Sanjay.
Sanjay, hi. So how can I help you? Not sure.
Yeah, I've been the last.
Oh.
Well, I think I'm. Well, all right. So I guess my question is, the last week or so, my shoulder has been kind of acting up, and I'm starting to get knots around my shoulders for some reason. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
It just started happening recently. So, just
which shoulder is it, left or right?
both of them.
I'm going to say, because I can't choose. I felt both of mine hurt. There's quite a few things that are happening. First of all, make sure that you begin to take like a joint formula. That will actually begin to help. While the energies are causing you to feel uncomfortable, you need to make sure you put certain nutrition. So like glucosamine and chondroitin and all of those. But that's not what you came here for. They said that so something about them. Okay, so I'm assuming that it has to, they said the word move. So ever since you've moved there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've had the weight on your shoulders and you developed a habit of having a little bit of a panic, but you also pick up other people's panic. So has Sue been panicking? Has anybody in your household been panicking? And you may not be aware of those particular emotions because we're so good at them that we don't feel them the same way.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's a combination of family as well as work. So I pick up a lot of vibrations from work.
Yeah, I can see that one, but I also feel the home life like you're going to fail them. You put a lot of pressure towards yourself.
Yes.
Your thinking had changed and you feel, now see, you had confidence before. It was like, yes, I can do this. Not a big deal, but now all of a sudden something shook you into thinking, well, maybe I'm not doing it right. Or I see a lot of doubting thought that comes in.
Right.
Okay, just recently it seems. And what happens is that your shoulders are hurting because of a couple meridians. Okay, meridians will cause, now what's running through these shoulders is that we're going to go that one. Well, something called the triple warmer. And this triple warmer is the one main meridian that kicks in when we're worried, stressed, fear. Stress will be your biggest thing. So if you feel a lot of stress and you can't get it under control, you're going to start feeling the pain. Now, the triple warmer runs like this. Oops. Okay, I don't know if you can see me now or not. Oh, no, I think we lost them. Remind me I was at the triple warmer. So we'll wait just a few more seconds and see what happens. Amy, give me a 1 minute read while we wait.
Virginia. Want to know what chakra she needs to work on.
Okay, very simply put, you have the fifth chakra that's being affected by how you're grounded with Mother Earth. And what does that mean? That means sometimes you just have a problem of knowing how to use your voice to speak up. And so because you may be speaking up, but your body's energy is not connected. So if you wanted to work on the fifth chakra, you have to begin to work on the first. And that's the foundational aspect of who you are. When you begin to look at that foundation, they said, notice that it's about the stability. You have safety, you have security, but the stability is off just a little bit because what about the fifth? It's about the choice. Not just the using your voice, but it's about choice. It's about making the decision towards myself. So you must be at a crossroad there about how you want to choose for you. The ego is going to say, white chocolate. I love dark chocolate, but yet you got these two options, then they're coming at you and you're like, and it doesn't want me, then the white one feels rejected and then it doesn't want me. Then what happens is then you feel like you've gone with only two choices. But if you keep not choosing or you make the wrong choice, that's always my issue, indecisiveness. And you need to find out what's you like, what choices you want. Again, what do you want for Christmas? Well, I want that expensive thing over there, but if I don't have that, okay, fine. It's like, okay, let you choose. No. just allow yourself to say, you know what do I like? And a lot of times you just wish that somebody would come up with something so that you can show that you're loved a little bit. Well, you have to understand in here, you start living and loving yourself, then all of a sudden people are going to end up, the universe is going to learn how to communicate with you again. You have to learn how to communicate with your higher self. You need to learn how to connect and communicate with your heart and your gut, and you have to stop being controlled by the ego. Okay, while we wait for Sue to get reconnected, we are going to have the next one come up.
Angela Allen would like a card from Spirit.
Angela. We're going to ask someone on the other side to come over and give you a card or two. One of the things Spirit says to do is, Angela, hello from heaven. It says your loved ones in the spirit world want to say hello. They've been connecting. And they said that you haven't forgiven yourself about something, and it's an untrue story, but in your mind, you believe it is quite true. Okay? About listening to how you don't forgive yourself and how you have to keep going into a pattern. And it's about the choices that you make that they're saying that, notice it's time to take a moment and stop choosing that. Unchoose how you hurt yourself and don't forgive yourself. And Amy, what card do you have there?
Alpha, green chakra.
It's the green chakra. So it's about getting that fourth chakra open. Now, let's see. I'm going to bring him up. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. There it is. Okay. We got you. Yay. Okay. So what we're going to do is just make sure we get a recap. We don't have to know the meridians, just know that the meridians are why you're in pain, and we're going to correct those meridians, okay? And they said that the triple warmer is about security, so that you've had some type of security issues. And I'm asking a little bit further, tell me more. And they said, well, you're kind of getting tired of people, like somebody, maybe you just feel it. Oh, you do feel it. So, but they don't do it directly to him? No. Okay. So, well, give me that example again. Something happened to you at 14 years old, and you happen to see at 14 somebody having very erratic behavior. And that is, they kept switching their behavior. You didn't know if they were going to be nice. You didn't know if they were going to be mean. You didn't know what was going to happen. And it's time for you to want to heal this issue, because Spirit says that you will feel on the intrinsic face. What happens is your body is saying, oh, I don't want to reach out. I don't want to do this. And so your body is responding to that. It literally just says that this is how your body is supposed to feel, because you don't know if your efforts are going to be received or not. Okay, efforts unreceived is very huge, because let me tell you what happens. The small intestine meridian begins here, but it comes up and it goes right into here, and then it dips down to here, and then it comes up through the neck. It does it on both sides. The triple warmer is the same way. It will come up like that. You got two meridians that are causing pain right in here. Okay.
Go away.
All right, so Sue's going to get her magnet out. She knows what I'm talking about. And what we're going to do is we're going to give him a magnet, or you're going to use it yourself. And I'll just do it here. You're going to take, and on the back of his wrist, right in the middle, both sides. And I'm just going to double check him. Yeah, they're both frozen. Take that magnet. She's going to go back and forth on the other side. Okay, what happens is when the meridians freeze, that means there's no flow. So you're going to have a back. You can have a back buildup. And they said, along with your thinking, is that when this happens, you can feel when the stability begins to change, when the person is about ready to, explode or look at you and react in a way that you don't know how they're going to react. Okay. And you're going to, it's on the side. There you go. Yep, that's it. Just swipe it across the whole. There you go. Got it. And you're going to do both sides, both wrists. And then when you're done, we're going to rub those babies. Okay. And what's going to happen is that this magnet is going to demagnetize why it froze. And then and then after she switches to the other side, then she is going to rub those points. Or you can do it. She can show you. You don't have to use the magnet all the time. It's that your body is put up with the back of the wrist and then the side of the hand. And, sometimes people can get in there and do both. I mean, well, I do anyway. Or you can do one at a time, but give it see, now all of a sudden I can feel, okay, I'm feeling, that's good. The one on the wrist, that's better. The one on the back, is it frozen? No, it's what he does to himself. He freezes. So what happens is that when, how do you put it? When your body consciousness is around those people, it knows. It kind of senses it, picks it right up. Now, you could be off doing whatever it is you're doing, but your body's going to respond. And that's what your body's doing. It's responding to the people in the environment. Okay? And I'm asking a little bit further, why? So, and then what do you do toward yourself? You abuse yourself. Toward yourself, you take action to... because of whatever happened when you were 14, hopefully you remember that, because all of a sudden you felt vulnerable. Okay. So how do you remember 14? You go back to the year, you go back to your house, you go back to who's around. And usually that energy really happened. It literally left a mark, an imprint in the body's consciousness. You're not sure that I have to take a certain action. And sometimes that action is about having to change your behavior. So let's say you come over to Sue and you want to talk to Sue because you're being so funny and all that. And then all of a sudden Sue, let's say she demonstrates the erratic behavior and she doesn't quite know she's doing it. Your body is going to go, I don't think I want to joke with her right now. So then you'll become something you don't want to. You didn't get to finish being who you wanted to be. You didn't want to, doesn't become a target. That doesn't become, but you have to stop who you are. That's what they keep repeating. Okay. That just needs to be rubbed again. So on the right, I want you to rub the back of this one 30 times here, right in the middle. I keep hearing another spot. I just got to find it. Which one? Okay. We got to somehow get the energies to communicate up here with the both of them. So now he could do this when he feels. No, I mean, just saying when he's at work or whatever, he feels it. Like even watching TV, they say it even triggers when he watches TV. He can grab, I'm wearing black. Triple warmer smoothie. Okay. Yeah. So if he can start noticing when it happens, he can stop the habit. And that is he could grab this and breathe in and out and hold at it for a few minutes and then switch sides. Okay. That will keep those two communicating and these will freeze. The other part is that I don't know if he's into hope therapy or not, but if he is, Sue, you would have him hold L1D. You have to make a decision like that. It literally can deprive you. And that's what happens with energy. So he's going to hold L1D. And when he pulls up what's happened at 14, he's going to have a lot of memories and pictures. Anxiety was built out of that, and panic was built out of this. So that panic response triggers those. They said the best thing to do is just have him hold L1D to get through it. And if you are good with eye accessing, sensory accessing, you may want to check his eyes and see what picture he holds those in. Okay. And get him familiar with it, because I don't want to put him on the spot. Get him familiar with it, because, I don't know if he came on for himself or if he came on for you, but.
Well, he's been asking, he's been,
excellent.
It's been pretty painful for him. So I was like, will you do this? And he was like, yes. And I just grabbed the chance.
Excellent. So we're going to help you both. And so he'll get it if you just help him, because sometimes people, especially men, we're told to shut off our the connecting of feeling, you know what I mean? So if he were just to hold that point, when you're ready to do L1D, she'll walk you through it. But when you're holding this, just remember, this is where we create reality. Okay? And you have a past experience that the body's consciousness is kicking off. It's going to put your head in a stress mode. That means 80% of the blood that your body is kicking off, even if you're not there thinking, you're just aware of it maybe, 80% of the blood goes into the fight, flight, freeze. Okay? And if you don't, this tool here helps bring the blood up, bring the blood back up into that forebrain. And when you begin to think up there, you can measure it from a 10, and you're like, oh yeah, you can actually begin to feel and know that it's getting less. That means the thought processing that was strong becomes not as, you get more clarity. It's not as bad. And the feeling starts to dissipate. We want it gone. Stay a little longer until it's all finished. The picture access is that you're holding me that it's right there. Okay. And even if you're like, I can't connect when that happened at 14, but you can, and I know Sue's good at this, that all of a sudden Spirit is going to have you open your mouth. You're going to end up telling her a story. She'll go, oh my God, that's it. That's when you need to go. Going to have a lot of similarities, and they will help you heal that out of your body. And if she keeps massaging those, you're going to make sure you just need to rub 30 times on both sides, and that'll start to calm down the triple warmer. And the other point would be, you see where the thing. But yeah, we got to get his heart, and we got to get the triple warmer to stop going. I'm a habit. This is what I know. This is because it became part of your identity. It sculpted you to be the man that you are today. But you're kind of getting to the point where I'm just kind of tired of this. I mean, you put up with it for so long, you're like, I'm ready to change that. That is what's happening, because your body is saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. All right. So now one of the things that you can do is that she can end up learning to measure. If the pain becomes to the point where it's too strong, I will walk you through how to do a source point healing to start pulling the pain out. Okay. What I've given you here is not just a little bit about releasing it, but it's also about going to the root of why it keeps happening. And we want to change the root that you understand that you're responsible for your health care, and so are the physicians. I'm just in entertainment purposes only, but you are in charge of making sure your life is better. So
that's great.
Just stop going towards yourself. They said a lot of the pain becomes towards yourself, that I have to do this responsibility. I have to do this all. It's a have to. What is a have to? It is when a guilt says it forces you to do something you don't want to do. So I can understand why we go to work and stuff, but sometimes people at work will make you go on a guilt trip without knowing. And then you feel like you have to do it. And that's the problem, is that I have to put up with it because this is my job, or I have to put up with it because this is how much, I got to get grace and ease. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You both have a good day. I'm so proud of both of you. Bye.
Bye, Brenda. Thank you.
Bye. I thought that was good. Yes. Okay. Who is next, my dear Miss Ames? Remember, if you are here and you want a reading, you go ahead. If anybody had not done that, you then can come on and then say, hey, I'd like a reading, but that's towards the end when it's more of an open forum.
PayPal come through.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Well, we'll just take 1 second so I can catch up with whoops. What are you doing, Brenda? I have no idea. With catch up with the rest of it. It hasn't come through on my end. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Slow as. So the first person that's going to. Sue, did you pay twice? Sue, did you pay twice? Carrie Ann Plant. Carrie Ann.
And she's going to do it this way because it's 3:30 in the morning, 3:45.
That is no problem. We have no problem with that, just as long as you know what you would like to do. I have no idea how long I gave Sue, but Sue, We'll just check back with me and see if that pain is less. Learn how to measure. Oh, yes, there she is. And what was it that she said that she wanted or anything? Did she say? Okay, that's fine. Carrie Ann, you tell me what you want, my dear. And, okay, Carrie Ann. You're doing some soul work. There's some type of an identity that you have. You haven't quite brought it to the surface, but it's getting ready to transform out. Oh, she says, that's me. I have just so much going wrong. Tell me I had meridians out of whack. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So again, the meridians that go along with how you're learning is that resonates. And then there's so we have the small intestine and the kidney. And the kidney says there's impending doom because it's the way you go into an overwhelm, which is the pericardium. Why? It goes into a sluggish memory you did towards yourself about how to protect yourself. And so as soon as you begin to feel awkward, yes, I keep saying that I'm giving up on life. Oh, geez. Okay, that's good. We got a connection now. Tell me if the rest makes sense. To the point where you're like, So when, does it just sound like nails on a scratch board? Yes, because you can feel how they deliberate intention with it. And you're starting to hold grudges. So it's like any type of relationship or wherever you're at, it's after you don't know, but grudges come in, you're like, just shut the F up. But at the same time, you're in a state, again, the dark night of the soul that says you're ready to stop being that ego response that put up with it. And you're ready to break away from that. And when you begin to break away from that, that's where the state of confusion, that's where everything's going wrong. But your soul is trying to get your attention. They says, look, this is why we're doing it. You went from a whispering opportunity to a slap in the face, to kick in the ass, to a bee sting. Up now you're getting to where, what's it going to take before it changes you? And I said, what do you really need? Because you're repeating when you were little. And the action.
And then I hate it and react, but I'm passive.
There you go. Yes, I've noticed it. And then I hate it and passive. Yes. So notice this pattern. It's a pattern. So that's all they're telling me is it's a pattern. And they said that I'm going to ask, is this like a scab? No, this is ready. You're ready to let it go. They said that it has to do with the reason you become passive is because of habitual fear will come in. You have to go into habit. Whoop, back you go. And so I'm going to ask, what do you fear the most? And they said, well, it's what's going to come at me. Emotional hurt caused you to go into panic. What happened emotion? Show me some type of word that got you to go into panic. That I was made irrelevant. And this is what happens when you take somebody that you love dearly and then they pull that shit on you and it just, I can't believe that they said that. You rejected, totally shocked. Yes, it can cause physical pain. So when you were little, did you have the physical pain? Abandonment. Oh, Jesus, yes. Yes, that's why you were passive because, ow, my head. Hold on. Physically, what happened that you took it upon yourself that it had to been your fault. Again, a 1-year-old's trying to think how the process, it's rejected and it doesn't have all of the logical steps or any of that. It just has the emotion and realize how much that child can pick it up and especially internalize it that it must be my fault. Children don't know for the fact is that it must have been something I've done. They internalize it so different. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what would be the best way to get Carrie Ann out? Well, first of all, you took the first step, which is to pay attention that there's a story forces its way to say, pay attention to me. It is literally forcing you to pay attention. So, and then you have to go into automatic response. Now, I need to notice, what is it? I must be condemned. Whoa. That's such a... Not let my heart get crushed anymore. I can't be confident. You, unless you make an appointment to do hope therapy, EFT would probably be your best. Such a very devastation for that little girl because she still is rejecting that happened to her. And that is where I'd probably say you want to heal too. So if you make an appointment with me, write down these little things because I ain't going to remember them. Oh, I was told constantly I ruined their life and oh my God, and be ignored. Now we understand. And now she has the word always. Yeah. Okay. We got to help you, Carrie Ann. You need to get, yes. There is a way out. There is a way out. And it may not be in one session, but there is a way out. And but you can have the thing about when we do these sessions, it does pull your ass out of a lot of things quickly. It doesn't have to be a therapy session where it takes 3 years. Good God, no. Could you contest to that? Or could you, Amy?
Oh yeah, it can pull your ass out faster than you can turn around.
And there's a part of you that don't even know that stuff's even there. But
right.
Yeah, and you don't have to live with it. But some of the things that have been there for a while, we have to go in and we have to get all those little chunks. And so certain things will take longer and some things that will have to take away the pain before you can take the safety blanket away, before you can actually take and get to where you need to go. I now see I'm making myself sick from my thoughts and behaviors from the past. Yes! And you won't be able to help yourself, Carrie Ann, until you use a tool. Because you can sit there and try to shut it off, suppress it. That just makes your physical body worse. You use a tool so your body can transform out those emotions that create you to have those thoughts, the emotions that create you to have those decisions, to make those behaviors. It is learning how to dissolve the trapped emotion, and it's not just using a magnet. Sometimes you have to go a little deeper because you have to have the education and the wisdom and the transformation of your thought processes. Okay? Hey, Kevin, yes, it does. Testimony here. Ooh, all right, Kevin. Yeah, you didn't get back with me, Kevin. We need to know what that question was. If I could help you with. Let's see. Who's next, sweetheart?
Patty.
Patty. Ooh. Did we just get... Hold on. So we got somebody else. Go ahead. Patty, what?
I miscarried in 1991, 2 months before I conceived my son. Can you tell me what the sex of the baby was and a little bit about him or her?
Yeah, it's very much of a strong yang energy. And did it have a penis? Yes. Okay. So it was a male with a strong male energy. The one thing about that is, all right, so the soul had to come through, and there were certain things that needed to be finished off, and that's why they chose you and you chose them. The type of personality, if you're saying what kind of person they are, they said, just understand, he's coming back. You just understand, we both agreed we both needed a particular outcome. We needed to go through a certain amount of things. I've traveled with you before. You have seen me in other people's eyes. Will we travel again? Oh, yeah. He says, yeah. He says, I have to go off and do my thing. He says, but don't be surprised, because I can show up at any gender. They said, before he goes, he says, yeah. Okay. So it's a heart wall. Gotcha. The habit of keeping the heart wall. It's hard to let people in. Do I really have to tell them? Okay. I cannot remember the movie, but the movie is with the little boy that grows leaves on his legs. And I can't remember the name of it. Amy, if you can remember the name of it. And it has that famous actress that played in Alias. And she has to learn, so her and her husband want to adopt a child. And so they were planting, and this little boy comes out of nowhere. And so they thought, oh, we'll adopt him. And it was a big, 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 big lesson of the heart. Timothy Green. Thank you, Spirit. Love animals. But I couldn't understand because we grew up with animals, but I just couldn't connect. Well, there was a lot of trauma that had happened around animals. And when this little bird came into my life, it's a bird, for God's sake. Oh, thank you. Oh, and then he sang, we talked, I called him Merlin and never did find his home. And then he just died. After I opened my heart up and felt so deep for the first time to let love in so deeply. He died. And I looked at my husband, I says, this is the reality we're choosing? Seriously? No. I says, I reject that reality. And he goes, oh boy. And we were just looking at each other. And I said, yes. Apparently I have shit to heal. And my heart was completely crushed. And then the next day, this movie appears. Again, synchronicity. And I watched it and I bawled because I understood that Merlin was only supposed to be in my life. Because I kept seeing this energy that it's like spirit just threw him over, energetic. When I watched the movie, he was meant to open my heart again. Yes, the Odd Life of Timothy Green. Yes, it was an amazing movie, and I bawled. And then that night, I healed a big chunk of pain, and I heard Merlin in my head singing. I'm like, and he was so not good at it, but he was so good at it. He was so cute. And he loved to play games with me. And I was like, wow, for a soul to come through like that. Oh, don't cry. I don't need to do that. But it's just showing me that my heart, now I own like 15 birds. I have my little Charlie. Oh, anyway, hence the color of my feathers in my hair. This is my real hair, but it's like, talk about opening up something that I had no idea I even shut. Somebody paid, and I think it's Pilly. Do we got Pilly ones? No, not just once, about twice. So was that you, my dear, that paid?
Yes, she sent a payment. Anything is fine.
Okay, so she wants it like this?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, anything's fine usually when they do that. You know what made that intense even more? I think it's because your mom had come appeared. That's why I was like, pilly, going once, going twice. So, yeah, what is all that about? You gonna auction off some stuff? Are you doing that? What's going on? Maybe you should auction stuff off. No. Oh, a whole lot of just snot just formed in my throat. And I'm like, what? It's like, hey, Sue, who's got sinus? No, inner crying. Because I can't find that damn item you told me about. So you haven't found it. I take it you haven't found it. Again, it doesn't matter if you find it. It doesn't have to be solid. You have to learn to feel her presence. Once you do, you'll be noticing that she can leave you presence to you from the other side. Hence the hat that my mother gave me, the sweater that my sister gave me. Mom loves to see you work. I tell you, she's like, just look around. She goes, eventually you'll start noticing little notes, look at them through synchronicity. That's a good point. A good friend of ours, Vicky, she's getting a book made, and you should buy it. And but the thing is learning how to communicate with the people on the other side, and you can use synchronicities She keeps telling you, she keeps showing you, she says, that's me, and she's trying to figure out what tone. So she's practicing, but going, if I use a higher voice, that's me. And she goes, no, voices might scare the crap out of her. What else are we going to do? Okay, how about if we just not move objects? I don't think that she's ready for that. But can we just make something like, this is a reminder of your mom. Look at butterflies or the sun. All of a sudden you'll be walking down, she says, and all of a sudden you'll see a twinkle, you'll look up and you'll see something that reminds you of mama. She goes, that's me. She goes, I'm trying not to scare you. I don't want to go, oh, peekaboo. She don't want to do other goodies. And she goes, and I can make that disappear. You can. Yeah, I knew it was you guys on the other side that do this to my thing. She says, and she goes, you can do that too. She says, listen to synchronicity. You can do it. Oh, she's funny. Now all of a sudden it's like patty cake, baker's man. I don't know what we're playing, but do it as fast as we can. There's a lot of energy running through her right now. I do not understand this. Yes, reminders everywhere. Oh, she goes, but, and then she says, hold on. She says, you're remembering me in a sad way. She says, we got to get that heart to sparkle. That heart to sparkle. And so then I'm, what? Don't do that. You're petrified that you're going to piss some people off, especially if you start talking about mama. You're talking about the goodness. You're talking about that. She says you still do a lot of quiet hiding and to not be seen on the internet, and that because you give them power. Because they act like they're such big people that can hurt you. Yes, synchronicity. She goes, oh, yay! Yes. She said she's taken and she's showing me that she's like this orchestra. Do, 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 do. There's Billy. Do, do, do. Okay. She says, I don't know who Jim is, but I don't think it's Jim. But anyway, the whole point is that there's some similarity of words. She says, but yeah, they're like, they're all, she's like, it's not that she's choosing a favorite, it has nothing to do with that, but she is like talking because apparently you're the one that can really hear, and that gets them all excited. What? This? What? This? Oh, woman, what are you having me dig for that I can't get? This? Yes. Oh. Okay. Messages from the rabbit. Served animal world. Okay, so you haven't been connecting to the animal world. You haven't been connecting to that instinctual aspect of yourself, and that you are driven. She says, don't want someone to see something I write. Yeah, she says, it's time for you to get out of that ego and you know what? Start pulling in your power. She says, look, siblings say I was her favorite. Yeah, okay, well, yes. Anyway, it is messages. You have learning that there are messages. You have messages coming from animals. Have you started to receive them? Have you been able to use your animal instinct, which is that very instinctual part of yourself that knows? And don't confuse it with fear that says, oh, God, they're going to bitch. Yeah, you know what? People bitch anyway. But it's when you give it power to them. So you're going to step up and have your power. Yes, I was thinking of adding another Facebook for, you know what? If you have to, yes, that's up to you. But at the same time, you're going to have to learn how to stop hiding and kick those people out of your life. Why are they even on your Facebook? Why can't you just block them? Oh, that came from a male uncle or something. He's over there. Says, well, you did. You decided, okay, you started a whole new life. You're like, you know what? Goodbye. Because I was tired of being controlled by him. Haven't been outside much. Oh, let me tell you about one thing about animal communication. So all of a sudden it's like, God, I wonder I wonder what message I have for me. Oh, a butterfly. Like my daughter. My God, this girl is an insect whisperer. She makes insects appear in the middle of winter, come in and basically all hang out and party at her corner of her room just so they will get her attention. And then as soon as she gets the message, they all disappear. So she goes, that freaks me out. I go, well, I'm sorry. Apparently the messages. But it's learning that little things are grabbing your attention, and you can go to the metaphysical, like for instance, a little handy book here called Animal Speaks Pocket Guide. It has physically get into the key word that she's just trying to point out is metaphysical. There's a metaphysical meaning for everything. Yes. She's like singing a tune in my head. I just cannot get it. Anyways, what?
She sees a red cardinal outside her office window almost every day.
Yes, red cardinal. Okay, before we go on to the next person, red cardinal. Well, we're going to get my eyeballs to work here. Oh, wow, it really throws off your digestive system. Renewed importance. Accept you. Really, I think they spelled that wrong. Accept your life's importance. Your life is important. Accept yourself as a source of light and do not be afraid to conduct yourself. Again, she's pointing out in great detail. Oh, Kevin says cardinals are traditionally past loved ones. She's emphasizing and using me as your guinea pig. No, it's funny. She says, aren't you just cute?
Okay, there's something interesting going on here, Brenda.
Do tell.
Okay. Nicole said, she's on your phone.
Yes.
She said, does anyone else see the red color coming and going? And I said, where? And she said,
so what you doing?
Interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Are you doing that? Well, she is glowing anyway. What? She says I shouldn't talk so loud. Because sometimes frequency makes color. Interesting. She's like really quiet now, and I'm like, girl, how can I hear you if you're not talking? She goes, but I was being loud. You're an example. Oh, you're beautiful. I just love you. Okay. Billy, if you talk too loud, you're going to get too much attention. Heal that out. Because you're talking too fast. Okay. Here. You don't like that one? Well, it's part of my life. All right. Digging into the filing system, bringing up a memory. I had this woman that's just started to be in my life and soon to be one of my good friends, but didn't know it. And she was fresh, didn't really know much about spirituality. So I told her, I said, you need to bring more light in your world. Okay, bring more light. So she turned all the electricity on in her house. That her husband thought that's what I gave as instructions to bring in the light. And therefore he started to say, well, stop listening to that crackpot. And to the point where all of a sudden she had a session with me and paid me, and with very little money back then. And then he canceled the check after I already gave the service, because he said, there is no way in hell you're listening to a crackpot. She's evil. To the point where now, when I started it off, I created my website, but I didn't, it was like 10 pages in. You couldn't get, how much does this woman charge? Talk about being afraid of being me. And I didn't really tell many people about me because I was still afraid of being me because of all those naysayers out there. But then I had to go through the dark night of the soul, which means give up on that part of your ego, which is what you are meant to be doing, Billy. And so He's demanding that he meets with me. I'm going to set things straight. So we meet up in this mall. We get there, and now I'm shaking, but at the same time, no, I can do this. I sat down, and it was the Spanish Inquisition. My body felt like it was the Spanish Inquisition. My whole body kicked in. My lips are dry. They're stuck. I can't talk. But Spirit kept saying, look at this. Everything. He had an encyclopedia of papers he printed off the internet all about me. And no. He pulled off, says, look, you're asking for money. You should be doing it for free. He was telling me how to do my business. And then he was saying that, no, you shouldn't be giving advice like that. You should be giving advice like this. Again, telling me how to be a medicine woman. And then he went on a little bit further. And he's telling me that, oh, look, I found that you have been certified as a witch. And I says, that's not me, but you can be certified as a witch? Oh, let me see that. I mean, he's going on about how everything that's evil, my name was attached to it. And it didn't even have a last name. It was just Brenda. And then he was pulling up and he found proof and evidence that all these bad things about me. I says, the only thing here that is real is this page, because that's from my web page. None of this, I don't even have an internet presence yet. None of these are me, but it is good to learn to see that when you hate somebody, you're never going to get any. I said, is there any good shit in there? Was there any good Brendas in there? I said, so you're focusing on what you want, which is to find evil and wrongness in me. And I said, why don't you ask me the questions? And so he did. And we spent like 2 hours. I can't even remember now. He couldn't find one damn thing to stick to me. And I said, so I'm going to leave before I lose my shit, because that's not the type of person that I am, and I don't need you to turn me into one. And I left. From that day forward, Spirit has said it's time for me to let go of my fear of ego, because I'm just going to keep creating people to keep proving that to me. And that dark night of the soul was that I had to stop believing in that. And so I started to change how I believed, started to look at my habit of choices of being fearful. And I just kept stepping further into who I am, to the point that when people told me, oh, your family, but don't bring that up. Oh, your family, but you're crazy. Oh, your family. Look, no. Look. You say mean things. Oh, therefore you throw us under the bus. You do this and this and that. And they had every excuse in the world that they formed a hate club for me. I love you, but. And I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to step more into Spirit. I can't keep holding back. I love you, but isn't that what you said to me? And I started to become more me. That's what you're supposed to do, Billy. You got to get past the pain. Don't store it. Don't suppress it. Don't keep bringing it up. Don't keep looking for proof. You'll always find proof, good or no. Vicky, what is Vicky saying? What is Hat Book? Or what is that book? Oh, this book. This one. I got the big, thick book, but I was like, when I started to make metaphysics, every metaphysical book I got are about this thick. You know how hard it is to carry those thick books around? I started to make my own little ones. And then finally it got to the point where, hey, someone actually got smart. Started making books instead. I should just start publishing mine. But anyway, Miss Perkins, you are perking up these days. Do you know that? They said there's a part of you that's starting to get something, and it's really stopping you from suppressing yourself. You have allowed yourself to feel that the stability is what meaning I give it, and I'm ready to let that go. And they said that you're so good at controlling your world, so you don't have to have that old past bit. I can unhook from people acting mean to me. Yeah, I'm ready for that one. And that she is also looking at that she can be humble. She doesn't have to be humiliated. She doesn't have to. And you know what? Even if she is, she doesn't have to give it meaning, because she's starting to wake up, they're saying. So they said that hatred and hopelessness was what they placed upon you as their truth, which is bullshit. Take back your power. I would say do chord switching. Do some chord switching healing. Again, what am I referring to? On medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. You look under healing tools and you'll see a whole bunch of resolving tools just for you for free. If not, you know how to make an appointment with me. You go under fan page services, look at what I charge, the different times, and you can then look.
I just got caught again. Are things with finances going to get better? Just feeling stuck right now.
What did you say again? No. I mean, sorry. Before you said that I need to look at finances, you just got stuck again?
I got stuck again.
Okay, so so people hear that means her cat and Doug are good. And it's about the hesitation that you're going to say something wrong. Just let you know you create a doubt thought in there. Finances. Okay, financially speaking, what causes that to happen? You can't figure it out, which drops you back, and you have to stay that you cannot become independent because you can't figure it out. They said, notice that you're going through the second chakra about that interpersonal relationship with other human beings, and that is kind of feels awkward because in a way it feels like there's a depletion. And they're saying that work, the idea of thinking about doing certain work, when it creates a stress. So just thinking alone about it causes stress. And then when you work by it is also stress. So it's like when I looked and grew up, I saw my mother being stressed. I said, oh, work equals stress. You have to take out the association of what it is, because you can do what you love. I work every single day very hard at what I do, but I love everything I do. So it is not stress and it's not work. So it's how you define it. It's how you believe in it. It's how you've looked at it. Then you can start bringing in more money. So yes, Lenore is next. Let's see. I see that Lenore said she paid. I'm just going to double check and make sure it comes buttons. It hasn't come through unless she's paid in the. That's probably why. Hold on. Let's shrink that down. Let's open that up. Let's go here. Okay. There's a lot of beautiful things you guys can do, and let's see what happens. And it's not coming through. Oh, PayPal, what are you doing to me today? Why are you not walking? Maybe someday soon I'll have another way for you guys to pay. We will see. There, I had to go through the hard way. So we are going to have Miss Lenore on right now. Oh, sure, now it comes through. But all that hard work. Ready. We're caught up before everything else did. We're going to bring Lenore in, and we are going to make it big. And hello. Oh, we have a what do you got to do?
Ready. We're caught up before everything else did. We're going to bring Lenore in.
I still can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, we have a what do you got to do?
Just make sure it's not me somewhere. We have feedback. It means that.
Yeah. Is that better?
Better. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right.
Yeah, and it's just that fluctuating energy where he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. And I'm just done. I'm done with the situation.
I just pulled the Alice card. She says, nonsense. It's time to talk sense. So there is falling for the nonsense. It's falling for the pattern. And it is, and just like I said prior, is about pushing the button. So you keep falling for that button. So if I look, I'm just going to ask Spirit, do you want him to show up the way you want him to show up? Yes. And do you believe that he could show up? Yes. Do you think it'll be consistent? No. But do you believe that it's going to be consistent? Yes. But is it going to be? No. But you have convinced yourself that I should just give it one more try for my daughter's sake. Oh, so you're holding on to hope, but the thing is you cause yourself to stay in a state of confusion. Are you repeating something when you were little? What happened to you when you were 16? If we look at this, they said there was a habit that got developed. Oh, I see.
That's when Dad had his shoulder reconstruction, and I had to work, and I was
Okay.
in high school.
Okay, so here's a responsibility thing that I had. That's what I was going to say before you said that. See, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you're like, oh shit, yeah. So hopefully you're giving yourself enough clues we can get you to see what I see.
Okay.
You were forced to put yourself into a position to help the family so that you guys could survive.
Correct.
Now, what happened to that 16-year-old? Convince yourself every day that you can do this. I have to do this. But it wasn't just you convincing. It was somebody else's voice.
Yes.
So did somebody have to?
Sort of and sort of not. I knew I had to do it if I wanted my own pocket money, if I wanted to go out with girls. I knew I had to do it. But in hindsight of saying that, I knew that I couldn't drive at the time because I didn't have my driver's license. I was 16. So it was, how do I describe it? It was not unnecessary. I knew there was a reason behind it.
Right.
I had to do it. So it wasn't.
Well, what happens to us when it comes to our values and of doing things is that we have a convincer. We have to convince ourselves to do certain things. And sometimes we use people outside of ourselves to convince ourselves.
Right.
You had a goal in mind that it has to look a certain way. And no matter what, you have to convince yourself. And there's always going to be why do you have to convince yourself? Because you don't believe it or you don't want to believe it. So it goes back and forth, back and forth. So you're just repeating that as an adult with him. Okay. Yeah. You don't want to give up on him. You want to keep moving forward. You're saying you're doing it for your daughter, but you're investing all this time with him. You're not investing any time with you. Yeah. For you. So, okay, if you want it, you have to work hard, but it always boils down to that you can't really have it because you have to do all of these other responsibilities. Now, how you kept yourself there is that you convinced yourself you're smart. You are smart, but you convinced yourself you're smart. But here's the thing. The dark night of the soul is that the ego is trying to get you to behave a certain way. So its world does not fall apart. This is where it's going to be tricky.
Is it a behavior for them to keep me where I am, or is it a behavior for myself to not being able to move forward?
It's towards yourself. You have to behave a certain way to fit in with the rest of the people. Like a certain way we talk, the certain way we have to fight, the certain way we have to behave. Okay? That you're just only repeating the program that happened so long ago. You're doing it in the now times, but you're like, but I've educated myself. I've done this. I've done that. I can do this. But you're still running with the dogs. You can't be something different and stay with the old program. You have to venture out and do what you need to do, which means if you start to move in the direction and stop convincing yourself that you got to constantly be the savior, constantly have to be there to better somebody, or that you see all the good in them, then you're hoping that they'll see it too. But notice their patterns. How they do anything is how they do everything, which means they're going to stay that way. It's not your job to change it. It's your job to see what you're doing. But you have a convincer that says that you have to do this. And you value the fact that you can do this. You've had to do this. You could, because you've done it before. That's your go-to answer. And they said that needs to be changed, the convincer. That also needs to be changed is that like the archetype of being the hero, you are meant to step up to be your independent self. And that you don't need to have all of these people hanging off your tit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So it is just, it's not trying to tell you to get rid of. Right. And what happens is that when you begin to stand up and put yourself in the position, hopefully they'll want to let you be you and come your way instead of trying to convince you to. I mean, are they doing it? Yes and no. because you can't have them show up any other way than you know. And as a kid, you needed them to help you to stay in the adult program as a 16-year-old. So it was, and it's great that we want to support and love people, but if they are not supposed to move, then we're going to create karma for ourselves.
That's exactly what I'm getting now.
Okay, and so karma's karma, but you imbalance karma is what you don't need, is what I'm referring to. Because somebody says, well, karma, I know your definition. I didn't say it properly, but and I'm not talking about you, somebody else. So you have to understand that. So this is what they're supposed to be doing. Why am I trying to no. So it's unwinding. Again, it goes back to how you had to convince yourself through certain values that you had to do certain things. You have to now find out what that is. And we ask for grace and ease to come forward so you can find that pattern. And then you can use the tools to heal it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. And the convincer. Yeah, that's a huge one. It's like, because, we'll talk more about that some other time. All right. Good job. Thank you for coming on. I totally appreciate that. And how are we doing? And any more 1 minutes?
Yep. Bree, she says she's wondering how to stay connected to her higher self.
Okay, so let's find out what causes to feel like there's a disconnection, or because you are always connected to your higher self. The problem is we use the language that we're disconnected. And are you disconnected? No. Is it something blocking it? Yes. And there's one thing in particular, and it's what instructions you gave towards yourself. I have to behave this way. So it is what happens. How do you respond when you get and I had to protect, and I had to get in there, and regardless if I was going to get chewed on or not, my savior part of me came out into savior. But when our energies can affect other people. And what happens is that when erratic energy comes near you or somebody behaves that way, it is a part of you that kind of brings in your energy, cuts it off, and you can't quite hear your higher self. So begin to notice the instructions of what you do to yourself. That will alone, and then to heal it out. Use tools to heal it out, because that forces you to give up on your expectations, which then causes you to really disconnect. Anyway, next.
Vicky, she's wondering if there's a message from her mom or her friend Cheryl.
Is that our Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's funny. Is that her mom? Because it's like, baby girl, but so address the idea of other, I'm not the enemy. So it is, okay, so you're saying that she sees enemies, and address that, how much energy she puts into that she sees an enemy. She says your jokes are improving. But you're not ready. She's not ready. She's not ready. So there's something to do with, she's coming muffled, which means I don't know if she's ever played with the fact that she has a voice and that she can communicate with this energy here. So she hasn't quite got attuned and aligned. She's never thought about it before, but it's something to do with, she just keeps saying, I'm not ready. At least that's all I keep hearing. They said that you had to exert your power in a certain way, and you didn't. Getting praise is not a bad thing. You have started moving past when you feel that when you act a certain way, you can feel when love is unreceived. And they said that you're finally starting to get past that, because you realize it's okay to be, to be yourself. Otherwise, you train people to treat you a certain way. Who's next?
Betty wants a card.
And is Nicole on the list? Buyers?
Oh.
All right, she'll be after that. Miss Betty. Oh, Jesus. What the hell is that, Betty? I can't see. I'm blind. Card is a Alice in Wonderland card. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of condition. And they said it's in reverse. And I asked, well, what do you mean in reverse? And they said that there's a part of you that is learning. Well, it resonates with you, but it's part of you looking for praise. Period. So how does looking for praise make it sound like in the past that you did it right? Learning how to communicate with yourself as you're changing to become something more. Okay, Miss Nicole. Lofty energy. There's a certain amount of energy that's pushing its way around and that you had when you were 6. So how a person's behavior is acting, you, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but it causes you to become very self-conscious into a pattern. And that's what they're saying is begin to notice that, because you don't need to accept that that's how you have to behave in that energy field. It makes you lose your choices. That's what that's about. Because we're losing my voice, and it's not about speaking up as much as it's about my choice. I don't know if you're aware that it is your choice or that that's the choice you've made. Good Lord. Who's next?
Kevin.
Step is to look at the invalidation. That means to take the word invalid. Look at the different ways that it is. Then look at how you invalidate others or invalidate yourself, or how others invalidate you. But they're having you, they want you to look at the kaleidoscope. Do not go back.
You wrote an S instead of a D.
Ah, gotcha. Do not go into flagellations. Okay. What means, Mr. Monk, don't get confused with the religion aspect of one of your lifetimes, because you can do self-discipline without having to, which is not to hurt yourself, whereas the other one is that you have to punish yourself and you have to cause physical pain so that it's the reward and punishment factor. It says you're moving into a new awareness that you don't have to do that physical punishment. Waking up to just getting up and out of them. Miss Sharon Gordon. Did you pay, my dear? Let me look. Did that come through yet? Oh, yeah. It's taking this lovely time, but it got here. Miss Sharon! Is there a spiritual reason why my ankles are still giving me a lot of pain, or anything else Spirit wants me to address? Thanks. Okay, so are you coming on, or do you want me to do it like this, hon? You decide. I'm going to go and look up a particular thing for you. We're going to look at ankles and go from a different direction. How's that? You're welcome. Point taken. Now, Miss Gordon, you have a whole.
I have one more minute.
Okay, so we'll bring Sharon in just a second. Give me that 1 more minute, please, right now. Rhonda. Oh, you got the song, Rhonda. Can't remember how it goes, but I can hear it sort of in the background, and it kind of happens to be, help, help, help me, Rhonda. And that's what you've been saying to yourself in a way that you're like, I don't want to help these assholes anymore. But at the same time, I don't know how to help myself because there's a certain amount of panic. So they said your 2-year-old self happened to become witness to what happens towards yourself is that, oh, is that what we want to do? Okay. that right, the core. I want you to, like if you imagine that you're smoking, I want you to inhale, but make this core muscle work. And then when then after you've done a couple of those, because what happens is that there's a breather that you can, and what you're doing is you're actually building this muscle and this diaphragm up. Okay, and then when you do it quick, now if you pinch your nose, but if you have a machine, it's kind of cool how it does that. But at the same time, there is also, are you using your neck muscles? Because when you breathe out, like come up, don't use neck muscles, you use the core muscles, and you have to push. So you have to retrain the breathing diaphragm. Oh, Sharon. Yeah. Hi, girl. How are you?
Hey.
Hi. Well, doggone it. Here we go again. Ooh. Yum. I love those. Yes. So, ankles, huh?
Both of them.
Both male and female, both spiritual and physical aspects. Okay, we're going to look at this. When it comes to ankle, I'm just going to dive right in. Now, on the inside, outside, what part? All of it?
All the way around them. And they're like difficult to walk on. Sometimes the left one, I can't hardly put weight on it. Sometimes it's the right outer ankle. Sometimes it's the right underneath the heel. And sometimes it's the left outer ankle.
Okay, so would you say the Achilles tendon is involved?
The Achilles goes straight down the back, doesn't it? It's more the side and the top of the foot.
Okay, so you got kidney and you have bladder meridian. They are on both sides of your ankle. And if that's the water aspect, and I'm looking... I know how to spell ankle. Come on. I'm looking. Okay, it's there. I'm going to look. Metaphysical speaking. Ankle. Over responsibility. No. Help me. I'm falling. Sort of. Straight jacketed. Oh, yeah, that's where we're going. What about the... No? Okay, so straight jacket. Ready? They feel... What is that word? They feel fettered and hemmed in by the social group, culture, organization. There is a conflict between their pride, self-importance, and self-satisfaction on the one hand, and the need of community commitment and cosmic contribution on the other. So you want acceptance and you have rejection, and then you're rejecting and then you're accepting. And so you're battling between that second chakra, that interpersonal relationship that you're like, okay, I just don't get it. Good God.
Yeah. I always had a lot of problems with that second one.
Yes. Okay. They have illusions of self-inflation concerning their goals. I can do this. I got my job. I can do this. I got all this. So you have all this wonderful way to make you feel good and accepted through you. But there's a part of you that kind of wants to connect with other human beings. We all need that. Okay. But yet the people that you want to connect with, like you can connect with me, you can connect with Tim, you connect with, who is it that you feel you can't connect with? Is it just work? Or are they smart people? They think they're smart.
Males in general.
Males in general. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So let's look a little bit further. They are inflexible about changing direction. Well, no, what? You know what? You know how I feel about that? Yeah, you know, have us, but it is something you want, and you, as your younger self, felt like you didn't have, which is that male connection. So you're looking for companion. God damn it, there's got to be a good man out there that doesn't have to believe that hitting and all that other bullshit has to come into play. Yeah, I agree with that one. Okay, so let's look at what is going on inside of you that causes the male energy to do that. You got this?
Yep.
Now, they said a little bit further, they fail to recognize good due to the lack of love in their early life. Let's just take a second on that one. They fail to recognize good. 8. How many are there? There's 5 parts of you. First one is when age 2. So write down age 2. The second one is when you were 4. And then the third one is when you were 18. the fourth one was when you were 32, and then the how many did I give you?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I thought. And the next one is 36. How old are you? I think.
63.
Oh, no, you're not. Fifth one. No, you're not. I'm sorry. Boy, I'll tell you, they're making 60-year-olds look younger these days. I'll swear. No, you're not. Okay, I'm rejecting your reality for you there on that one.
Good.
But you're saying from those 5 aspects there, it says, I am so tired of becoming something that I don't really want to be out of sympathy. So it's not like it's like, I don't really know who I am. I just know I need to connect with these people. And then I will begin with my big heart to accept them. And then all of a sudden they use their little ways of doing it, and then it crushes me. Okay. But they use sympathy. They use something to cause you to go into that pattern. Okay. So you're restricting yourself a great deal from what I hear. They were effectively ignored until they got old enough to coerce control and demand attention. None of that shit anymore. Now you have a conflict within yourself. That would make more sense. But according to this is at which point the family
Probably.
So what would your family member that was growing up with you, they didn't like you? And I'm not going to say who it is.
That would probably be my evil sister.
She said it for us. Evil sister.
That I no longer acknowledge.
Evil. Okay. Okay, now we've got a connection. Let's go back a little bit further. She's considered the monster. Okay, so the thing is that how much did you believe that? Apparently a lot. Which one did you, what age were you when you believed it the most? Age 9. Oh, she said something. Nasty little bitch said something. And you're like, oh, and you took it in through the ego and the pride, and it hurt. It hurt. It hurt. Did she call herself prettier than you or something?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, something came up to the point. Who's older?
I am. 5 years.
Oh, yeah. She tried to, yeah. Let's go to that right ankle real quick. Measuring yourself. Oh, I don't have a relationship with a guy, therefore I must have done something wrong. So you're measuring it, and you're measuring it with the wrong tool. You know? There's a whole lot of joke there from somebody's point of view. I am not going there. I don't know what side that came through, but we ain't going there. All I can hear is a slide ruler. Yeah, no. Okay. Right ankle. I can't do it. They feel utterly incompetent and incapable of coping effectively, arising out of their sense of being lost at sea without a rudder. So when you get into certain situations, there's a part of you just don't feel like, I can cope with this shit that happens. I do not. No. So there's a party that says, I want to go towards that. Another one says, oh, hell no, we're not doing that again. Okay. Let's go back. How can I do it? How can I do it? They're in conflict as to which methods to use to achieve the most impactful self-serving results out of their being hugely hamstrung and inflexible. So you don't want to go back to your old health. This is what happens when your body says you haven't healed your shit. Okay. Now let's talk to that left ankle. Hello, left ankle. How you doing? And it says, I'm running amok with anxiety. Oh my God, they have issues about the nature of their motivation and intention. This is what happened here. We're going to place it in the future. And you're like, no, you're running. But the left ankle also said success avoidance. I do not want to be successful on this. The issue is the fact that they have to trim their sails in their differences to the public opinion. So you have to dull your light, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to stop doing that too. It says pulling in their horns. The issue is the fact that they have to trim their sail. Oh, this is funny. The fact that which they find that are mob, and one asshole starts it and another one agrees, just because sometimes it's a joke. You can't hear it as a joke. You have to hear it as the truth, which is not the truth, but you consider it so much so it hurts. This is what you did as a child, and that's what's happening in part of your body right now. And it's also because that's why the adult you is like, oh, hell no, we're not playing this game again. When you successfully avoidance, they want to go back to that. They said that they have a feeling that somehow, correct, but that little child inside said, if I succeeded, then the light would be on me, and then the public opinion would rule.
Mm.
See how it's not even the truth, but because the little child does not know that. See, so we have to really look at it. So if I were to ask, what do we do about the ankles? The bladder meridian, it says self-justifying. And that I have great suspicions that they're up to something. So do you have suspicions of people? I think they're talking about me. Do you have suspicions?
They talk about me all the time, but I don't care.
Okay, so the body's consciousness is still doing that. So it says it does care. The kidney aspect of it says that, oh my God, I don't know if I believe charm. I've had great people that charmed me, and it was really nice, and it felt good, but then they were all assholes.
It happens a lot.
Okay, so notice that is the water meridian, or water element. And they says that you have been learning what isn't it in relationships. And you've kind of already finished collecting the proof. You just now have to get out of the it and into your spirit. So it is, what would be the best way for you to get out of it? Is notice that you believe they're right. So you create a self-abuse towards yourself, and you believe that they're right. There's a part of you that believes the lies when you were younger. So look at those 5 ages that I pulled up, and notice how it hurt. They said those 5 need to be addressed. You're going to hold L1D to address that.
Okay.
And notice that, look at yourself and say, oh my God, that hurt. And because I believe it to be true, it hurts and it's true. And notice that it's towards yourself, and that you believe that about yourself. Even though you know it's not true, but you believe it's true because you got proof, and that hurt is what makes it that way. Again, that they just want you to start working on L1D. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you that when you start to pull that out, you need to just make sure you rub both sides of your ankles, because one side is kidney, the other one is I massage it towards the heart to get that fluid that's building up in there to go towards the heart, so that you can clean it out, and so that you can start getting the energy to move properly through the back of those legs. And then your ankles will start to hopefully feel better. Okay. If not, we'll have to make an appointment and do some source point healing and take care of it that way.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now go heal, because I know you can. Because I want to see you shine like I know you can. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Love you, Sharon. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. And how are we doing, Miss Amy? Is everything good? I'm going to double check to make sure. I just got to make sure that I do not forget about my appointment. All right. That looks good. Go back to finding my YouTube thing. Hey, everybody. And anybody over here, we're looking good there, and we're looking good there. So, any more 1 minutes?
Brianna, did you pay, or were you just asking about one?
She was wondering about the paid. What are the options, like card readings? Well, if you want a card reading, strictly just cards, I can use cards. Pendulums. I don't divide it up, but if you'd like it divided up, I use pendulums. Read your aura. I talk to the dead. Heal, just like this was. The reason we didn't do a healing is because I'm giving her the amount of money or amount of information, because she already knows how to do certain healings, which she doesn't need me for unless she wants to. Then she can make an appointment, and then I would watch her progress. At this point, it was really honing in on what it is, the information, because she needs to learn how to get things to click. And like she said, always, oh yes, that, and so she's recognizing. If you just want cards, that's up to you. You can come onto the show. You can do it just like this. Some people prefer to do it like this. Sometimes it's 3:30 in the morning. There's like, I ain't getting on there. I'm as haggard as I look or feel. No way, you know. So it can be done either way. Vicky. All right. You coming in or how you doing it?
She said she was thinking about coming on.
You go right ahead, girl. We like that. Let her little comedic style shine. But it's up to you. Not forcing it. Not forcing it.
While you were working with Sharon, I was just playing around with my cards, and I pulled Joy earlier, thinking it was for somebody else, and I pulled Joy again.
Interesting. Somebody's supposed to wake up and have their joy because, as she said, she pulled a card. Spirit flung a card out at me. It says, wake up! It's your moment. That means that you know that you're hardwired for joy. Did you hear me right? You're hardwired already. You're not hardwired for suffering. Oh, come on, just for a few questions. What's the link? Okay, so, get in your Zoom room, Missy. And the number is 862-222-3514. That's 862-222-3514. And once you get in,
Vicky can do me.
All righty. So when it comes to Miss Amy, what do we have? It says with Amy, it says keeping up. Lillian, I did see your name. That's why, pardon me, wonder if it was you anyway. Amy, such a curious dream, grounding, returning to reality, coming home, asking you to keep up with, and you're kind of not fitting in anymore. Miss Ames. Every day. Do you understand? The more you are aware of this and the more you do nothing about it, the more your ass is going to get kicked. So it's not about being a bee sting or any of that. You're going to have to be bitch slapped across the room to the point where you're forced to have to make a decision, and the decision is already made for you, and you're just going to have to learn how to get your ass up off the floor. Hey, how can I help you?
Usual.
What was that?
I said sitting outside as usual.
Well, that's good. Yeah, now I know in Minnesota it's kind of cold to do that. So, so you have
42.
42 in Minnesota. Well, that's that's cold. So where are you from, real quick?
Me, I'm in Texas, Gordonville, near Dallas.
And warm, is it?
Oh yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Oh,
I'm sitting out my sweatshirt right now.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Okay, well, how can we help you, dear?
I have a couple things keep coming up, and I was hoping that joke. So I'd like you to see if you could get anything on those words first to kind of give me some direction, because I'm
okay. Are you ready to hear ghost?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you had any ghostly experience from the other side?
I think so. Like I hear noises a lot, or I'll think of something and like the refrigerator will turn on, or my dad will get ice, or
okay. So here's the thing. You're writing a book, and it is to help to communicate with the other side. Yes, those people that lose their love. Now, Spirit says you're getting ready to write the next part of the book, or the next book. I don't know how many pages you've got already, but the point is that you're collecting experiences, because you said, I want to make sure I have answers. And I said, okay. They said, sometimes you don't listen to your dreams. Okay. And that means when you're sleeping and you have dreams that come in, there's something that you quite haven't heard from your dreams. But at the same time, it is learning to get your dreams to come true in this life. There's some type of a stumbling block. When I go a little bit further, they said that the inner child blocks you. The inner child wants to be addressed. And I said, okay, what age, how many? You have 2. The first one is when you were 15 and you had to lie to yourself. So you put a broadcast message out, and there was a frightfully overjoyed moment. They said, we'll get back to that. Let's go to the next one. They're saying when you were 19, again, you did something towards yourself. And I said, what's that about? Frightfully overjoyed. Okay, so let's look at those two.
Frightfully overjoyed.
Yes,
Is that
frightfully.
what you said?
Mm-hmm. It's like, for instance, let's say I'm driving in a car and I get in a car accident. I'm frightened as hell, but then overjoyed that I'm alive. So you can have two emotions like that are in the opposite extremes. Hold on. They got some other information they want. You got to go to the big one. All right, what do you want? It has to do with the body chemistry, that stuff that you force yourself to tolerate when you don't mean to tolerate them. But, you have to, because that's life. I'm supposed to tolerate that. And I said, well, how has this got anything to do with the book? And they said, well, go into details. Okay, where? Environment, your 8th chakra, the environment. So the environment, when you begin to identify communicating with the other side, you're going back, and all of a sudden they use the word Catholic. So I'm assuming whatever background that you have in that is a play in what's happening. Because, again, what are we doing? What are you not supposed to tolerate? You're not supposed to tolerate? So, were there rules that you weren't supposed to do something? I am not supposed to tolerate, and you're supposed to take action. You okay, honey?
Yeah, I'm fine. My dad came outside in this couch
Gotcha.
and let me go.
So there's something about wounded pride. The pain of your pride got hurt both times. And so is this the meaning what come out the door? Did he play a part? Parents played a part. You didn't want them to find out something about you at that ages. And then who says that you have to be somebody else. So it is, I'm frightfully overjoyed. I'm frightened by this energy of erratic energies, and I'm overjoyed that when it's not around. But you're like, what do I do in the meantime when it comes in? So you actually feel both of them, and the anxiety that you get from or is it the anxiety that comes first? No, that comes after. So the anxiety that I can't do it right. So this goes into the habit of how you have to have a lot of control. So think about your books. Can you write your books and not have to worry about naysayers? Or do you have to prepare yourself for all the naysayers, all of the questions, all of the stuff?
I think a little bit of both. I have no idea, 15 and 19, what they're talking about.
No, then they said you will. It says, don't know what to do. It's something to both times is that you don't know what to do. And when this erratic energy comes around. And so then you go into, well, if I become an it and make everybody it, then there won't have to be any caring. I can put up this wall and I can get some shit done, and then that's all taken care of. So you have to become something out of sympathy. So the outside controlled you. You're like, okay, everybody's an it. Everything's an it. I got the answer. Let's do this. I'm done. But you're moving out of that ego habit because they said that you're ready to become more than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So what does the joke mean? That, because I'm sitting here and I'm writing this book and I'm doing all of this, but I really get a lot of time, like, joke keeps coming up and I'm not sure.
How did you cope? How did you cope?
Say, like,
joking?
Am I not? Because I feel like I really want to do this, but I honestly feel like they're like a lot of my synchronicities is saying, no, this isn't your joy. You have
that's your ego.
Else.
That's your ego trying to control the situation. You have to go into your spirit mind, and they're telling you just keep doing it. But your ego is saying that because it's trying to control the situation, they say, oh, you're just a joke. But at the same time, you use joking as a way to cope with the erratic energy. But the point is they're asking you to notice the habit. And you need to get into your spiritual self so that you don't have to listen to something that's very important to help. You asked for, just to sum it up, you asked for answers. Now you're getting more information for the next part of your book. Okay? And I'm just going to point out, how do you help people understand they're not listening to the devil? How do you know that you're not listening to the wrong thing? How do you know that you can trust this? Okay, you're trying to figure out how to answer that properly. And then as you're moving you're becoming a spiritual human. So you're moving out of the ego into the spirit mind and more into your authentic self. So the answer that was written a long time ago is now going to be upgraded. So you're in the upgrading stage.
Okay.
Those in the past. Now, what if I'm wrong? No, what if that's why, just to let you know that before we get done the show, Spirit wanted you to make sure you understood. Don't be just looking at the negative.
It's difficult because it's coming through not from my own mind. Like when I started,
it still has to do a filter.
I'm writing.
You still have a filter. That fright, fear, overjoyed. You have to heal out the differences. L1D. I mean, the way that you learn to trust, learn how to grow, learn how to protect, learn how all of these things throughout your life. And now you're supposed to upgrade yourself. You can't do it overnight because there's that transformation. It's a transformation process. So L1D. Does this have to do with her?
Yeah, I get ringing in my ear a lot when spirits are around.
Okay, so how do you know to protect yourself? How do you know it's correct? That is the question, and can you answer that?
Wait, how do I know how to protect myself?
How do you know that the information that's coming through is from a higher source?
Well, there's several ways. I get a lot of animal communication. My right ear will just start itching like crazy.
Okay. But that's how they want you to answer it. Is that when your ego comes in and it's fear, can you trust those?
You're cutting out. I'm sorry.
Can you trust those signs? Or how to ask different questions? It's going to be a confusion because the confusion transforms you out of the old. You're looking at
then other things come through that kind of throw me off track. And I figure, a lot of times that's happening is it's being done kind of on purpose for training, but I don't, or I'm doing it to myself. Well, one or the
either way,
question.
You heal it out so that you can upgrade and take it higher so that you can get more from your spirit mindset. Okay.
And that's frightful.
You felt both of those at those 2 ages, and that's what you're going to just let spirit bring to you with grace and ease. Okay. Because how you listen and you control things and how you communicate with your synchronicities all are based on those 2 particular ages.
Okay.
And
interesting.
And you're ready to grow up and out and upgrade. It's a process, but you can get there. Just don't get too hooked up in ego. Use tools. If you feel like you're getting lost, tap it out. If you feel confusion, tap it out. You need, okay?
Bye.
All right, bye. Okay, so we're doing really good. And if we're just about done or not, let's see. Anybody else? Aimster, what's going on?
I don't have any more emails.
Okay, good. Let's double check. I don't see anybody else that's paid. If you've paid, speak up. If you have, this is that part where it's just a wild card. So if you want your 1 minute read or whatever it is, and you didn't feel like you got one, or you didn't want to send the email in and you want to do it now, this is your time to speak up because we're just about done, and I will finish up. I'll keep looking in all the rooms and double checking. You guys are good. We will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. my time, which is early morning for people in U.S. Just remember Thursday show. It is, let's see, it's 1:48 here. So basically 48 minutes ago, it would have been my 1 p.m. So this is just to point out that my Thursday usually is your Wednesday. And that's the time I'd be coming on for my other show. And that is strictly about healing. and looking at it from a different direction. They're all about healing, but these first 2 shows are all about that reading. But we're trying to incorporate and give you more information. You guys are really good. We will talk to you. And what do we always say? Resolve to evolve.
Heal instead of deal.
You can heal that and let the blessings pour all over so somebody else can have them. You deserve your blessings. So just remember.